We've been doing virtual for so long and the camera has existed for so long, but I have no idea how it actually works. So it's like when you're trying to get your TV at home to turn on, you just hit the remote. I was just clicking the power button, but it seems to be on. Okay, y'all, we'll start in another moment. Just waiting on a few more folks to come in, but all the props this evening. So a strap for sure. We'll definitely use it for the pose that we're moving towards. 2 blocks, blanket, and therapy balls. And I don't have an agenda with the bolsters. Sometimes I do, but if you'd like to grab a bolster, you're more than welcome to do so for a tucked in Shavasana. Gmail. Okay. Yay. Okay. Yay. Everything's working. Hi. Quiet in here today. Sometimes there's a lot of chatter before class, but we're all in it. Good to see you all. A lot of you I recognize or maybe have seen next to while practicing, but just in case I was too involved in the tech stuff and I didn't officially get to say hi, my name is Anisha. Thanks for coming. Hello. Tuesday. We made it. There's like 45 things on my brain right now, and I want to make sure that I get them all out. The one big announcement I wanted to just share before we start to practice, because every time we come to teach, the clipboard is stacked with all new events, and there's a whole page dedicated to a workshop that's coming up, not this weekend, but the weekend afterwards, where the beauty of Three Queens and having been practicing here for so long is that they bring in a lot of international teachers who aren't necessarily from Philly, because it starts to expand our world beyond just the teachers that we're so familiar with seeing. So we're really lucky to have Mariel's teacher, Desiree Rumba, coming in from, I think she lives in Southern California now, but has been traveling all over the world. And she's offering a weekend-long workshop, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with her style of practice. And I've been saying this kind of as a joke, but seriously, Mariel on last Sunday's class says that she's offering a money-back guarantee because she values her teacher so much. So to be determined. I will be there, and if you're free that weekend on the 19th and 20th, all the information is on the clipboard and on the internet. Okay, so last week, first week of September, was the culmination of this 10-day holiday of one of the great gods and lords of yoga. And so for a whole month of September, our practice is kind of dedicated to mythology and storytelling about this great deity that exists, not just in the yoga tradition, but he's also peppered all throughout the studio. I point above the camera because there's a stuffed animal of him up there, big guy up here, and then 2 more right at the feet of his dad, of who he's known for the most. So in few months, September, October, November, and December, they're just a very sweet and auspicious time in the yogic and Hindu calendar, because there's a lot of birthdays and holidays that are coming up to be celebrated. And we kick it off with the god who has the head of an elephant and a body of a very large baby boy. And sometimes you see him with 2 arms, sometimes you see him with 4 arms, but he's known in the tradition known as Ganesh or Ganpati. And he's thought to be the one who's the remover of obstacles. So we put the stuffed animal of him above, but inevitably it happens. He's not guaranteed or perfect. But last week, I talked about his origin story of how he came to be this character, how he had the head of an elephant and the body of a baby boy. And this week, like I mentioned in yesterday's class, I want to talk about what he's holding in his hands. So each week, or each month, as we share more mythological stories, you get to kind of know who these deities are and why they're up here and what significance they start to play. And so Shiva, this guy, who is known as the great destroyer, the lord of yoga, you notice he has 4 arms and he's dancing in a ring of fire. Parvati is Ganesha's mom, and she's often seen with nowhere less than 2 to 10 arms, and each one of her arms she's holding something different that signifies something important and meaningful to her. So here in this deity, in this statue of Ganesh, he has 4 arms, and in each one of his hands he's holding something very different. In his front left hand, he's holding a bowl of sweets, and it signifies a few things. One, anytime we talk about him on his birthday, you always offer him a plate of sweets to sweetness and keep his belly very full. In his right front hand, he's holding a broken tusk. I'll tell that story next week about how he broke off his own tusk to scribe one of the greatest Indian texts as we know it. And then the 2 I want to focus on today, he's holding in his back hands. In his right hand, he's holding what we call a goad, or kind of like a harness that you put on cows to steer them in the correct direction, to make sure that they get to where they're going. And then in his back left, he's holding a pashu, or a lasso, that helps him bring things closer and further away so he can see things in greater detail and in more perspective. So, oftentimes when I share these mythological stories, we're going to practice in a moment, but I ask the question of why am I bringing this up? It's a Tuesday, we've had a day, we have a week to go. Why are we talking about a God that may or may not have existed on this earthly plane? And the reason being is because whether you've heard these stories once or 1,000 times, each time you hear a different story of Ganesh or any of the great gods and goddesses, it's a different way in which you get to experience yourself. Because each of the deities, each of the mythological stories, they act as a mirror through which you see your own reflection. They weren't created out of thin air. They were created as a reflection of us. So all of the qualities that they have are aspects within our own human condition. And so Ganesha's ability, he's known most famously as the remover of obstacles, the one who clears the path when you're about to embark on a new journey. He clears the path to create the least amount of resistance as possible. He holds these tools in his hand so that it helps him clear the path in the most distinct way. He holds the goad to be able to navigate the direction he wants to move towards, and he holds the lasso to help bring things into his perspective that might not have been there before. So to really literally transform this metaphor, we each have a little lasso that we get to play with today. As we move into a practice of binds and start to bind ourselves to make tighter connections and pathways in our own body, the strap, all of your props, everything you have at your disposal, they'll act as your way to bring things in and out of, to start to shift your relationship with the practice itself. So binds today, we'll come upside down for a little while, we'll see where it takes us, sip water, take breaks, modify as and whenever you need to really support yourself and see where you're moving along in this path. So this evening, can we actually start lying on our backs with your heads up towards the front of the room, feet back of the room. Do have your strap within a grabbable distance. You can unravel it if it's in its little rubber band, and just set your strap off to the side. And as you come to lay onto your back, feel free to come into any way, shape, or form. You might be more in that Shavasana shape with your arms and legs out long. If you're experiencing anything in your low back or in your hips this evening, you might have your knees bent, feet as wide as your mat, as you knock your knees into each other so that the weight of your legs can support the other. And as your hands fall anywhere they fall, on your person or alongside of you, let your eyes close or soften so you can listen for your own breath. As you soften or close your eyes, we begin to pass through this threshold from the day that was to where you are now. So as you take this time to notice and just see where your breath prefers to be this evening, can you notice how as you remember your breath, it just naturally begins to deepen you? Let your next inhale move from your nose, down into your belly, and up into your chest. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through the crown of your head, creating more space for a drop more breath. Take a few more rounds just on your own. Let each inhale move in, down, and wide. And every exhale pours itself up, out, and through you. For these next few rounds of breath, can you feel not just your front of your body, but let your breath broaden into the back of your body, all of those points touching the mat beneath you, parts of your hips, parts of your upper back, and even parts of the back of your head. And as you take another 3-dimensional breath, let it fill you up in every direction. Even open your mouth to let all of that breath go. We'll begin our practice and our time together with 3 more rounds of that same breath. So wait for your inhale as it fills you up completely. And exhale to offer every ounce, every drop of that breath out. 2 more times just on your own. When you find your next exhale, pause for a moment. Take notice of any difference that comes when you listen for and really remember your breath. And now, keeping that attention inward as best as you can, softly blink your eyes open if they're not already, and bend both knees as you bring your feet flat onto the earth. Once your knees are bent, give your right leg a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest, and start with some small circles in your right foot or in your right ankle, going clockwise and counterclockwise. See if you can spread your toes as wide as you can and even point, taking a longer breath in and a full steady exhale out. Now the next time your right ankle comes through center, locate your strap. And as you find your strap, wrap it around your right foot, the ball of your right foot, as you keep your right knee bent to begin. Give yourself enough slack on the strap so that your elbows can touch the ground on either side of you. And as you flex your right foot, begin to straighten your right heel up towards the ceiling, giving yourself as much slack on the strap as you need. Feel your right foot get heavy into the strap, then use your hands to gently tug your back as you shrug your shoulders towards each other. A long breath in through the nose, full steady breath out through your nose. That's it. And just watching for props around you. If it's not already, straighten your left leg long towards the back of the room. Let your left heel and your left calf be heavy into your mat. Now bring both edges of the strap into just your left hand. Bring your right hand to your right hip or your right thigh. And as you give yourself a little manual assist, wrap your right hip towards the back of your mat, to the back of the room. And now 1 inch at a time, begin to move your right foot over to the left, noticing what you feel in your outer right leg. Can you keep reaching your right pinky toes back? Shrug your right shoulder up and back and let your head get heavy to the ground as you take a deeper breath in and a long, full breath out in every direction. On your next inhale, draw your right leg back up through center. Bend your right knee, slip the strap out as you lower your right foot to the ground. And now give your left leg a hug in towards your chest. Start with some circles in one or the other. You're spending a lot of time on the feet this evening. Just notice what it feels like to be off of them for a breath or two. And as you spread and point the toes, take a full breath in through the nose. And even open your mouth to let that. Once again, as your left ankle comes through center, locate your strap, loop it around your left foot, and as you give yourself enough slack on the strap, let your elbows and your triceps touch the ground. With your left foot flexed, begin to straighten your left heel, your left leg towards the ceiling. And now as you gently pull your strap back, push your foot up into the strap, create some resistance. Hug the shoulder blades towards each other on your upper back, and now breathe into all of those points touching the mat beneath you. A full breath in through the nose, and even open your mouth to let that breath go. Try to release the gripping sensation of your fingers around the strap. Bring both edges of the strap into just your right hand. Straighten your right leg long in front of you, and to clear some space as you bring your left thumb to your left hip crease, wrap your left hip towards the back of your mat, and now 1 centimeter at a time, begin to move your left foot over to the right to notice what you feel in your outer left leg. As you wrap your left hip towards the back of your mat, shrug your left shoulder up and back, and try to reach back through the left pinky toes, in through the nose, and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. Now on your inhale, draw your left leg up through center. Bend your knees, slip your strap out from behind the foot, and give both of your legs a hug in towards your belly or chest. Make some small circles in one or the other direction. Lean gently from side to side. And now the next place to meet is in your tabletop. So however you'd like to come off of your back, you might roll over onto one side and press up, or back and forth. All fours facing the front of the room into your tabletop position. You might have your blocks framing out the front. Use them as we begin to move around. But in today's table, bring your hands as wide as your mat, spread your fingers, bring your knees under your hips and curl your toes under. Now moving with your breath, begin to round and arch your spine through a few rounds of cat and cow, really linking breath and movement together. Let's take 4 cycles of breath. 3 to stay in the arched shape for a few extra cycles. You might even move more forward and back, your hips towards your heels, or shoulders forward of the wrists. But take these first few moments to notice what it feels like to not only move your body independently, but how your body can really harmonize towards each other. When you find your next exhale, come back to walk your hands another handprint forward of your shoulders. Keep them wider, as wide as your mat, with your knees under your hips. Curl your toes and take it up and back to downward facing dog with all the breaths and all the time you'd like to find your way there. In your down dog, bring your feet just an inch wider than they already are. Take up a drop extra room. And now lift your heels and take a tiny bend in your knees so that the backs of your legs can release. With your knees soft, stick your butt up and back towards the wall behind you. And now keep your left knee bent as you pedal your right heel to the ground. And notice what you feel in the back of your right leg. Now bend your right knee, stick your butt up to the sky, and pedal your left heel to the floor as you take a full breath in, and even open your mouth to let that breath out. Lift both heels, bend your knees, peek forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your palms to come into your forward fold. Those blocks might be right there so the floor can really meet you where you are. You might bring your hands up onto blocks out in front of your feet. You might widen your feet an inch or two, or soften your knees in service of giving your low back and your hips some extra room. But let your head get heavy as you bow in towards yourself. Take a deeper breath in and a long, steady breath out through every fiber of your being. Now climb your hands up onto your hips, stand through your legs, and on your inhale, come all the way up to rise as you release your hands by your sides. With your feet right underneath your hips, take an inhale. To hinge at your hips and fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway, hands to your blocks or your shins as you reach your chest forward. And exhale, plant your palms and step it back to plank pose, the top of your push-up. You might have your knees up. You might tap your knees to the ground behind your hips, but take a breath, push through your palms. Feel your shoulder blades widen on your upper back. And now slide your ears back. Bring your head in line with your chest. Exhale, bend your elbows to lower all the way down to your belly. Let your hands As your mat, take up space. As you inhale, rise for cobra or baby cobra. And exhale to take it back to dog, tabletop, or puppy pose for 3 slow, steady breaths. Let each inhale move from your nose into your belly and fill up into your chest. And as you exhale, push down and forward through your hands to lift your hips up and back towards the wall behind you. Take another long breath in, let it fill you up completely. And even open your mouth to offer every ounce of that breath out. When you find the bottom of your breath, lift your heels, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward, feet to your hands into your standing forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. How long can you spine? And then fold in towards your own self. Use your own fists. Measure your feet about 2 fists width apart. And with your toes pointing straight ahead, bend your knees, sit your hips back, and climb your palms up to your thighs for this first round of chair pose. With your toes pointing ahead, let your knees guide open towards your second and third toes. And now sit your butt heavy towards the back of your mat as you press into your legs. Stay here for more steadiness in your low back. If you want to add some heat in the upper body, reach your arms up overhead. But listen for your breath. Take a long breath in and down. Stay for your exhale. Let your butt get heavy to the back of the room as you lift your chest and your gaze away from the floor. On your inhale, come up to rise. Reach up to touch the sky. And exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. And with your hands high up onto your blocks or your fingertips on either side of your right foot, wiggle your left toes back an inch more. Now take an inhale to lift your chest through your spine. And as you exhale, fold and straighten your right leg. Let's go through that twice more. Inhale through to lunge. Bend your knee, lift your heart. Exhale to fold as you straighten your right leg. One more. Wait for your inhale as you come through to lunge. Think chest long. And as you exhale, fold and let your right leg straighten. Now, as both legs stay straight, pause here. Lift your back heel just a drop higher up off the ground. And as you push through your left foot, can you wrap your left hip towards the front of your mat? Tack your right hip to the back of the room and feel the sensation in the back of your right thigh. You can stay exactly as you are, or you might let your left heel reach towards the back of your mat for a bonus calf stretch. You might push down and forward through your palms to flex your right foot and float your right toes up off of the earth. But take a full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale. Try to release the gripping of your fingers around the blocks as you bow in towards your right thigh. On your next inhale, back it up. Lower your right foot, bend your right knee, and step it forward all the hops you need to come into your forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. How long can you go through the spine? And exhale to fold in towards yourself with those feet about 2 fists width apart. One more time, bend your knees, sit your hips back. Palms to your thighs or arms up overhead. Utkatasana, round 2. Think butt heavy to the back of your mat. Now slide your ribs back. Let the middle of your back expand. Slide your ears back to lift your chin. And if your arms are overhead, maybe they come back 1 more inch in line with your ears. A big breath in. Stay for 1 more exhale. And now inhale to stand through your legs. Reach up to touch yourself. Keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot back to catch your lunge. With your hands on blocks or fingertips, wiggle your right toes back just an inch more. And now an inhale to lift up through the chest, grow long through your spine. As you exhale, fold and straighten your left leg. 2 more with your breath, more than my voice. Inhale, lunge. As you exhale, fold and let your straighten. On your inhale, one last time, come through to lunge. Can you reach up through the chest? And exhale to fold as you straighten your left leg for this modified pyramid pose. Now, as your legs are straight, lift your right heel a drop higher up off the ground just to give some space through your hips. And as you wrap your right hip towards the top of your mat, tack your left hip to the back of the room and see if the sensation travels anywhere in the back of your left leg. Stay right where you are. You might ground your heel towards the back of the room. Push through your palms to flex your left foot and float your left toes up off of the earth. But take a longer breath in through the nose. Stay for your exhale. Try to soften your grip of your fingers, soften the jaw, and maybe bow in towards that left thigh. On your next inhale, back it up. Bend your left knee, plant your palms onto your sticky mat, and step it all the way back to downward facing dog. With your hands as wide as your mat, take your time. Inhale through to plank pose. As you exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for the inhale to rise for Cobra Bhujangasana. Take your time. And exhale to meet in downward facing dog as you lift your hips up and back. A full breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. And now from your down dog, lift your right leg up and back. Step it through to catch your lunge. Pivot your hands and feet over to the left and come into your wide-legged forward fold facing the long edge of your mat. See that all 10 of your toes are pointing in the same direction. And for my friends whose knees easily lock, take a tiny bend in your knees that you might not see but you can feel. Now as you inhale, hug your legs and feet towards each other. Feel the inner thighs engage. A big breath in. You can stay for your exhale, or you might soften your elbows to the sides as you bow in towards yourself. A long breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. And now with your head heavy, turn your right knee and toes to catch your lunge. Wait for your inhale and come up to rise for a high lunge as you reach your arms, your chest, and your fingers to the sky. I like to walk my right foot an inch or two over to the right so your feet are less on a tightrope or balance beam. But as you lift your back heel, knee, and thigh, stretch up through the fingertips and try to look away from the floor. Now bring your right hand to your right hip. Grow 1 inch taller through the left fingertips and up and over to the right for a side bend. You can keep your right hand on your hip to anchor and steady you. Your right hand might grab your left wrist as you tip to the right. But like you did in chair, think ribs back, slide your ears back, and maybe bend 1 more inch into your front thigh. On your inhale, come up through center. Let your hands tap the floor and take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels, notice what you feel and see. And now a few more times together. On your inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to rise, Bhujangasana. Let the shoulder blades kiss on your upper back. And exhale to meet in downward facing dog as you lift your hips to the sky. From your down dog, take your time. Float your left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. And as you pivot your hands and feet to the right, you might bring your strap with you as we'll take a shoulder stretch in this wide-legged forward fold. So once you face the long edge of your mat, grab your strap between your hands at your low back or interlace your fingers. It's up to you. But start with your elbows quite bent. Hug your shoulder blades towards each other. And now on your inhale, reach your arms off of your tush towards the sky. Teeny bend in your knees so that they don't lock. And now a tiny bend in your elbows so that they don't lock overhead. As you create some resistance, try to tug your strap or tug your fingers apart and hug the shoulder blades towards each other to broaden through your chest. Take a full breath in. Stay for your exhale. You might reach your heart towards the earth, meaning you might even lift your chin gently away from your chest. Slowly lower your hands back to your butt. Ditch your strap if you had it. Turn your left knee and toes to catch your lunge. And on your inhale, ride your breath to come up to rise for high lunge on the second side. Walk your left foot as much as you need to the left. But as you lift your back heel, can you wrap your right hip forward, your left hip back, and stretch up through the fingertips. Now start with your left hand on your hip. Grow 1 inch taller through the right fingertips and up and over to the left for a side bend. Stay here the whole time. Your left hand might grab your right wrist, but as you slide your ribs back, bring your ears back to lift your chin, bend 1 more inch into your left thigh as you listen for your breath. Inhale to come all the way up through center. Bring your hands to tap the floor. Take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. Notice what you feel from side to side. And now from your down dog, inhale through to plank pose and lower all the way down onto your belly. Once you're on your belly, make a pillow with your hands. Rest on your forehead or on one of your cheeks. Close your eyes for even a moment. And can you call yourself back to your breath? Not so long ago, we started lying on your back, breathing into all of those points touching the floor beneath you. Here, as you lay on your belly, can you breathe into all of those parts touching the floor underneath? And as you breathe into the belly, let your low back broaden and widen. As you breathe into your belly and into your chest, let the whole back of your body expand with more breath. Now we'll take a round of locust here on the floor. An option, if you'd like to take the bind, you can either grab your strap 1 more time to hold your strap between your hands like you did in that wide-legged forward fold, or interlace your fingers at your low back. But once you're on your belly, stretch your legs long back behind you. Either reach your arms alongside of you as you flip your palms to face the floor, or hold your strap between your hands at your low back. Before we lift, hug the shoulder blades together. Now on your inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, float your arms up off of the floor or your butt, and exhale to lift your legs up and away from the ground. As you take flight, close or soften your eyes and call yourself to your breath. With each inhale, can you hug the inner thighs towards each other? Think inseams of your pants to the ceiling. And now hug the shoulder blades together and lift your palms 1 more inch off of your tush. A big breath in. And on your exhale, release. Rest on your other palm or on the other side of your cheek. You might wiggle your tush from one side to the other or stay still as you breathe full and wide into your belly and chest. Now, after a few breaths here on the ground, bring your hands to either side of your chest, curl your toes, press yourself up through to tabletop, come up onto your hands and your knees. But take it up and back to downward facing dog as you lift your hips to the sky. A deep breath in through the nose and a longer breath out through your nose or mouth. From your down dog, lift your right leg up and back. Bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand for this lizard lunge. And now lower your left knee down onto the floor or a blanket if you'd like some extra padding. We're coming in for a thigh stretch with a twist. So with your hands on the ground or high up on blocks, keep your left hand steady and climb your right palm up onto your right thigh. From your belly, twist yourself open to the right. Now bend your left knee, lift your left toes up off the floor. Stay right here breathing. Or you might stand back. Maybe you lasso your strap around the foot for a thigh stretch with a bind, twisted monkey. And back. Shrug your left shoulder up and back, and then slide your ears back so your head can come in line with your. You can stay exactly where you are. You might look to the ground, and maybe you walk your left hand forward of your left shoulder onto a block or the earth. Maybe you lower down onto your left forearm, but take a long breath in. Stay for the exhale. Can you lean back against yourself so your head is in line with your heart? On your next inhale, look to the ground, then release the hold of your left foot. Your palms. We meet in downward facing dog. Take all the time and all the breaths you'd like to find your way there. Pedal your heels from side to side, a breath to notice any difference. And now last round, lift your left leg up and back. Step it to the outside of your left hand, as wide as the left side of your mat. Lower your right knee onto any padding that you need. And as you come up high onto your fingertips or blocks, keep your right hand down and bring your left palm to your left thigh. Think shoulder blades together, lean back. Bend your right knee to lift your right toes up off the floor. Stay here, or maybe your left hand reaches back. You might grab a hold of your foot, lasso a strap around your leg, or the leg of your pants. Now, like you did in chair pose, can you slide your bottom ribs back? Notice what that does in the right thigh. Hug the shoulder blades together. Stay here with your breath. You might explore walking your right hand forward of your right shoulder. You might also lower your right forearm to the earth, but a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale, slide the ears back and lean back against yourself. On your next breath, look to the ground. Slowly release the hold of your right leg. Plant your palms back to downward facing dog as your hips lift up and back. A deeper breath in through the nose and a long, steady breath out through your nose or mouth. From your downward facing dog, lift both heels. Bend your knees, peek forward, and come forward, feet to your hands into your standing forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway, grow longer through your spine. And exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Take a long breath in to rise. Stand through your legs, reach your arms up to the sky, get a drop taller than you've been. And as you exhale, let your hands come down by your sides. Shake it out, sip some water, take a breath. Making it more than halfway. So once you're hydrated, come back to stand somewhere at the top of your mat. Actually, grab your strap if you wouldn't mind. Find your strap like a big jump rope and hold your strap into your left hand. We'll take a little bind in the shoulders. Now with your strap in your left hand, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Bend your left elbow to give yourself a pat on the back. As you reach your right arm to the side, turn your right thumb to face the floor. And as you bend your right elbow, grab the dangly edge of the strap somewhere in your middle or upper back. Now, some hands might be very close. Mine are lifetimes away from each other, but it's these actions that we'll try to work here. So think left elbow towards your left ear. Slide your right elbow more to the middle of your spine. And now with some resistance, try to tug your strap apart as you press your head back and slide your ribs back. Teeny bend in your knees if they're locked, a big breath in, and even open your mouth to let that breath go. You can stay here, Gomukhasana in the arms, or we've done a side bend already. You might tip up and over to the right as you press your head back. A full breath in, stay for your exhale, and then inhale to come all the way up through center, unravel your arms, and shake them out. Take a breath. Ugh. I ask this every time I do this pose. Does anyone like that shoulder stretch? Yeah, you do? 1, 2, 3, 4 head nods. Blessings to you all. No matter how many years I've done that one, it feels like I have never moved my shoulders in my life. But we try it. So let's do the other side. Strap in your right hand, feet underneath you, and a tiny bend in your knees. Now reach your right arm up. Bend your right elbow. Give yourself a pat somewhere on the back. I like to reach the left arm to the side. Turn your left thumb to the earth. And as you bend your left elbow, grab the dangly edge of the strap. You might notice there's a subtle or a very drastic difference from one arm to the other. But see if you can work those same actions. Wrap your right tricep towards your right ear, like you're holding a cell phone between your ear and your arm. Slide your left elbow to the middle of your spine. And as you tug your strap apart, press your head back. Slide the ribs back as you soften the knees. Stay here breathing. If you did so on side one, you might tip up and over to the left for a side bend. And press your head back, slide your ribs back as you take a full breath in. Stay for an exhale. And then inhale to come up through center. Unwrap your arms and ditch your strap to the side. We'll use it again later. As you come to stand at the top of your mat, a big breath in to reach up, touch the sky. On your exhale, fold in towards yourself. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk your feet all the way back to the back of your mat for downward facing dog. Now from your down dog, walk your feet just an inch closer towards your wrists to shorten your distance. On your inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Now pause here. Flex your right foot. Try to straighten your right knee. As you lift your right inner thigh to the sky like locust, can you look forward? Come onto your left tippiest of tippy toes, and now step your right foot in between your hands to catch your lunge. Whee! Inhale to rise for high lunge. Reach up to touch the sky. Lift your back heel, knee, and thigh. Stretch up through the fingertips and bend 1 more inch into your front leg. Now hands come to your hips. Tiny bend in your back knee. Get springy and take all the hops you need to scoop your left thigh to your chest. This time, interlace your hands underneath your left thigh, similar to what we did when we were lying down. Press your left thigh down into your palms. Shrug your shoulders up and together as you lift your chest. Stay here breathing, or you might straighten your left leg towards the front of the room like you could foot high five me with your left foot. A deep breath in, a longer breath out. And now bend your left knee, thread your left foot back to left. Full breath in to reach up, touch the sky. And on your exhale, plant your palms as you step it back to downward facing dog. Notice what you feel from side to side as you listen for your breath. Last round, walk your feet an inch closer towards your wrists. Shorten your distance. Now lift your left leg up and back. Notice if the left hip and toes want to open up to the left. Wrap your left hip towards the earth. Flex your left foot and lift your left inner thigh 1 more inch to the sky. Now come up onto your right tippiest of tippy toes. Look forward and step that left foot through to lunge. Big inhale in to rise for high lunge on the second side. Take a big breath in and down. Stay for your exhale. Can you look away from the ground and grow taller through the crown of your head? You might keep your hands overhead or bring them to your hips, but tiny bend in your knee. Get springy and hop off your right foot to scoop your right thigh to your chest. Bring your hands underneath your right thigh. Take that awkward thumb or awkward pinky on top. Press your thigh down into your sticky mat and hug your shoulder blades towards each other. Stay here the whole time. You might straighten your right leg towards the front of the room. But as you shrug the shoulder blades together, take a long breath in. Stay for the exhale. And now bend your right knee, thread the right foot back to lunge. Take a breath, reach up, touch the sky. And on your exhale, fold. Plant your palms and back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels. Notice what you feel and see. From your down dog, lift your heels, soften your knees, walk your feet to the middle of your mat, bring your hands to the middle of your mat to meet yourself somewhere in the middle. Inhale to lengthen halfway, grow longer through your spine, and exhale to fold in towards yourself. Take a breath in to rise, stand through your legs, reach your arms all the way up to the sky, get a drop taller, and exhale to let your hands come down by your sides. Whew. To the wall. Let's do a little wall interlude. So you can bring the short edges of your mat to the wall. You don't need any of your props with you, but if you'd like to, you can bring them. We'll just be here for a few moments and then we'll come back. So find some wall space. There should be plenty of room for all of us to fit. Yay. The upside down we go. So this evening we've been working a lot on keeping those hips nice and square. We started a while ago on your back, holding the strap, seeing what it's like to feel the hips steady. We did that lunge to pyramid pose, and now just recently we just did the lunge to this guy. So very similar yet slightly different. We'll take the ball in your version of handstand. And now disclaimer, if your wrists are feeling it, you can do all of this on your forearms. I always just like to say it doesn't make it any easier. It just alleviates a little pressure on your wrists itself. So this is what the first one will look like. We'll try one on the right, one on the left, and then an option to kick up if you're interested. So the first round, you're either in your tabletop or on your forearms. It's up to you. But your feet touch the wall and your thighs are vertical. And now you come into your very tiny down dog. It'll feel a lot smaller than it normally would on the mat, but try to keep your hands where they are. And now lift one leg as high as it can possibly go up the wall. As you bring that leg up, notice the hips sometimes want to do this to get the foot higher. Try to wrap your hips towards the ground. And now bring your second foot just halfway to meet it. If you come here, you are in CrossFit, plank at the wall, which is so much harder than lunge at the wall. So bring your foot halfway to, straighten your legs, and then completely optional to look between your hands and lift one foot away from the wall. To come out, feet to the wall, knees bend, and rest for a few breaths in child's pose. Yeah? Take your time to cool yourself down. Now again, I always like to say, if you saw that and you're like, Anisha, I really don't want to do that. No obligation whatsoever. You can work seeing what it's like to breathe upside down with one foot on the floor, one leg up the wall. You can also take the restorative inversion, Viparita Karani, which is butt to the wall, legs up the wall. The hardest part about this is ignoring everyone else around you, seeing that they're going upside down, and then just feeling yourself steady on the earth. But there's no incorrect answer, yeah? So I'll talk you through that lunge at the wall variation. If you're doing something different, I'll cut you loose for a time being. You work at your own pace, and then we'll come back together. So for those that are going into that lunge variation at the wall, come onto all fours into your tabletop with your feet touching the wall, and either your hands on the ground or your elbows on the ground, but do bring your hands as wide as your mat. Take up some space. Now, a big breath in to look at your wrists and open your mouth to let that breath go without moving. Tiny down dog at the wall. Lift your butt up to the sky. Bend your knees, lift your butt high to the ceiling. And now lift your right leg as high up the wall as it can possibly go. Curl the toes and straighten your right leg. You bring your left foot halfway to meet it, just halfway as you keep your left knee bent. Now look between your hands, push through your palms to maybe straighten your left leg. Not bring your left foot to meet your right foot where it is, and push your left leg straight and send your butt to the middle of the room. Maybe then your right leg reaches up towards the sky as you breathe where you are. When you do not want to do this anymore, bring your feet to the wall, bend your knees, lower down and rest for a breath or two in child's pose, or a down dog, or a forward fold as you bow in towards yourself. Whew. Oh, you can stay. Don't worry, you're more than welcome to. How was that? Yay! 2 thumbs up while everyone is in child's pose. So now, straightening the second leg is hard. I know. What's that? Into left. The brain does weird tricks on us, doesn't it? It's like the coming into plank would be more steady, but in fact, straightening the leg would feel different. I won't say it'll feel steady. 2 pro tips. 1, unfortunately, I always see this happening. I do it too. Because you're balancing your entire body weight on your wrists, there's no way to alleviate the wrist pressure, but there are ways to make this not feel like you're weight bearing so much. 2 tips that I have for it are: 1, instead of letting your fingers turn in or out, turn your thumbs more forward to face the front of your mat. This will help engage through your forearms. The more you turn your hands out, the less pressure you'll feel on the wrists. Also, if your hands are really close together, you'll feel it way more in the wrist itself. So bring your hands as wide as you can. And then there's no homework assignment ever for yoga, but if you're ever interested in like, how do I get wrist pressure to alleviate? I like to practice in 2 ways. Trying to claw the blocks so there's no space between my wrist and the block, or practicing all this on ridge tops so your wrists are not touching the ground and you're really feeling the forearms and the biceps engaged to lift you up. I'm not saying do that now, but just food for thought in the future. The other tip I wanted to suggest is the straightening of the second leg. Tough, like tough, 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 tough. I find that when I'm not looking where I'm going, meaning when my head is dropped, it becomes scary and precarious for me to straighten this leg. So when you look forward, not only does it stack your shoulders over your wrists, it also helps you see where you're going so that you can hold your own ground and steady you. So instead of letting your head drop, see if you can look forward and even slide your shoulders forward of the wrists. Let's try the other side, last round. So come into tabletop. All the things that work for you, hands as wide as your mat, thumbs more forward to the front of the room, and claw your fingertips into the floor like your wrists could lift up. A breath in, open your mouth to let that breath out. And now to your tiny down dog at the wall, lift your butt up to the sky. Can you already here look forward? See what it feels like to look at your wrists. Lift your left leg as high as it can go up the wall, tuck the toes, and straighten your left knee. Look forward. And now bring your right foot just halfway to meet it, to butt height. Push through your palms, look forward, and maybe you straighten your right leg first, and then let your left leg reach up to the ceiling as you flex your foot. Push through your palms and breathe. When you do not want to do this anymore, you bend your knees, slide your feet down the wall, rest for a breath or two in child's pose, in table, in puppy, as you listen for your breath. That was it, Corinne. We're going there. So you can keep kicking. So, while you're rested, arguably the hardest part of going into handstand, this L at the wall variation that we just did, in my opinion, is 400 times harder than kicking up to the wall, because when you kick up to the wall is there, right? Like the wall doesn't move, even though in our mind it feels like the wall is moving further away, it's solid. But when you are here and there's no wall in front of you, all you have is yourself. All you have is the solidity of your own breath and steadiness, so it gets a little unwavering. And so the reason why I like to practice these inversions and binds during the month of Ganesh is because arguably the hardest part of going upside down is getting out of your own way. Yeah, like you, just as much as Ganesh, the story is he's the remover of obstacles. You call upon him to clear a new path. In the yoga tradition that we study from here, he's not just the remover, but he is the quite literal obstacle himself. So 90% of the time, today might not be the day to go upside down. It might not be in this lifetime. Maybe it's the next one. But 99% of the time, it's us getting in our own way for right reasons to feel like you can't kick upside down. Okay, so last few moments to play. Some options. You can do exactly what you just did, because sometimes doing it again, you feel something very different. You can rest in Viparita Karani. We'll meet you there soon in a moment to pause. Or to kick up to the wall. It's similar to all we've been doing. You bring your hands about a handprint away. You lift your hips, and now you look forward. If I were to look here and kick up, it feels like I have no idea where the wall is or where I'm going. So I like to look forward. You lift a leg, keep the hip square, and then I joke, it's chair, no chair. Chair, no chair. No chair so much that maybe your feet come to the wall. As your feet come to the wall, hug them in, push through your arms, breathe, and then to come out. Yeah? I'll talk you through kicking up. If you have any questions about it, call me over. Or work on that L at the wall or a moment to rest. Does everyone have something they want to explore? Last few moments to go upside down. So if you are kicking up to the wall, turn to face the wall, take your time. Bring your hands about a handprint away from the wall, just so your head doesn't bonk. And now make your way to your tiny down dog. Remember, wall to alleviate the pressure on your wrists. Look forward. Walk your feet an inch further forward. Lift your favorite leg, the one that you love the most. Straighten that knee, flex your foot, look forward, and now bend your bottom knee. Chair, no chair. Push through the foot. That's it. Chair, no chair. Look forward, and as you kick up, maybe both feet come to the wall. As they come to the wall, hug your legs together, hug your feet together, slide the ribs back, and now push through your palms to reach your heels to the sky. When you want to come out, rest for a few breaths in child's pose. Slow and steady yourself down. Yourself back down to earth. Whew. Nice, Kai. Kai, if you can also come an inch away from the wall so that your head won't bunk in. Yeah, there you go. And now try. Because that might be the boing factor. There you go. Yay. It's a very humbling experience to go upside down as an adult person. Because every instinct in my body is saying, girl, keep your feet on the floor. We're not meant to live like this. But it helps shift the perspective. All right, when you've had your fill, take your time. Let's come back to our original spots for a moment and get some poses to counter pose where we're going. So come back to the middle of the room. Find your way up to stand, somewhere at the top or middle of your mat. Both feet on the ground. That's it. Once your feet are on the ground, in Tadasana, tiny bend in your knees. Bring your hands to your chest or to your belly. Close or soften your eyes and take a deep breath into your palms. Open your mouth to let that breath go. Call yourself back down to earth as you breathe into your belly, up into your chest, and open your mouth to let all of that breath out. Now blink your eyes open, take a long breath in to reach your arms forward and up to the sky. As you exhale, soften your knees to hinge and fold. Nice, we'll have you face the other way. Inhale to come up halfway to lengthen, grow long through your spine. And exhale to fold. Pigeon pose, bring your right knee to your right wrist, lower your right shin down onto the earth. If for any reason pigeon doesn't feel supportive on your knee or on your hip, you'll come into this lizard lunge variation with your right foot to the outside of your right hand. But for this pigeon, walk your right knee so it's as wide as the right side of your mat, wider than your right hip. And now hug your knees in towards each other to feel your right hip move back, your left hip forward. Take a big breath in to lift your chest. And as you exhale, walk your hands a handprint forward of your shoulders as you soften between the shoulder blades. We'll add a side bend and a twist, one palm at a time. Begin to walk your hands over to the left, the top left corner of your mat or even up onto your floorboards. Push your palms down and forward and feel your right hip get heavier towards the long edge of your mat. You can stay right here. There's so much to be done, breathing into the right side of your waist. Or an option, you might lower and bend your right elbow, bring it to the left side of your mat. You might also bring your right elbow to the arch and ball of your right foot as you bring your palms towards each other to twist to the left. But anywhere you are, with your right palm down, with your right elbow down, or your right elbow in the arch of your right foot, take an inhale to lift your chest. Think chest long to the front of the room. As you exhale, let your belly and your heart revolve open to the left, breathing in this twisted pigeon hip opener. That's it. On your next breath, lower your left palm down, look to the floor. Peel your right leg back, and we meet in downward facing dog with all the audible sounds you need to find your way there. A deeper breath in through the nose, and open your mouth to let all of that breath out as you soften between the brows, between the jaw. One last side. Lift your left leg up and back through to pigeon or lizard lunge. And a pro tip, when your left knee is as wide as or even wider than your hip, brings your left foot a little closer if you're seeking that twist. But start first by hugging your knees towards each other as you lift your chest up. A big breath in. Stay for your To walk your palms a handprint forward of your shoulder. One palm at a time, begin to walk your hands over to the right, the top right corner of your. And now remember, you can stay right here and breathe as you push through your palms. Anchor your left butt cheek towards the long edge of your mat. Let your tush get heavy as you are. Or you might bend your left elbow and bring it to the right side of your mat, the long edge. You might bring your right palm on top of your left, Anjali Mudra in the hands as you revolve your chest and belly open to the right. You might bring your left elbow to your left foot. Reach your chest long towards the front of the room. And as you exhale from the depths of your belly, revolve to the right, maybe even up to the sky. On an inhale, look down, release your right palm, plant your hands, and step it back to downward facing dog. Last round as you lift your butt to the sky. Whew. A deeper breath in and a longer breath. From your down dog, last round, inhale through to plank pose. As you exhale, lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to rise for Cobra, Bhujangasana. Hug the shoulder blades together as you lift up through the chest. Exhale, back to tabletop and onto your back as your head faces the front of the room, your feet face to the wall behind you, and come to lay all the way down onto the earth. Have your balls within a grabbable distance. If you don't have any, you can lay on your back, raise a hand, and I can bring some over to you. Have your block also within a grabbable distance. You might use those as we begin to move about. But once you're on your back, bend your knees, bring your feet as wide as your mat, knock your knees into each other, and let your hands rest onto your belly or onto your chest. Take a full breath into your hands and open your mouth to let that breath out. Take another breath into the front, the back, and the sides of your being. And exhale to let every ounce of that breath out. Now, just like we started, give your right leg a hug in towards your belly or chest. This time, straighten your left leg long. And hold your right thigh. And move your right leg up and over to the left hand side. I like to bring those blocks underneath my left thigh or your left calf, or the right thigh or the right calf, so the floor can meet you where you are. Because less about how low the right leg can get, but how much can both of your shoulder blades soften to the earth. Your right hand might rest on your ribs or on your belly. You might reach your right arm off to the side like a big T. But stay here with your breath. And a thigh stretch. You might bend your bottom left knee, kick your left butt cheek with your left heel, and sweep your right hand down and around to grab the pinky side edge of your left foot. If you have a hold of the foot with your right hand, shrug your right shoulder up and back as you push your foot back into your hand. A deep breath in through the nose. Stay for your exhale. Feel your belly button move from left to right. Let the right side of your body get heavy to the earth. Now on your inhale, release the hold of your legs. Draw both knees and feet through center as you lower your feet to the earth. Give your left leg a hug in towards your chest. Straighten your right leg long in front of you. And as your right hand holds your left thigh, twist to the other side. Move your left leg up and over to the right. Supta Padagustasana C, a reclined twist. Any and all of those blocks underneath your left thigh, your left calf, so the floor can meet you where you are as your left shoulder blade softens to the floor. If you did so on side one, stay right here. Or you might bend your right knee, sweep your left hand down and around, to grab onto the pinky side edge of your right foot. If you're holding the foot, push your foot back into your hand and shrug your left shoulder up and back as you chest. A deep breath in and a longer breath out. On your next inhalation, if you have a hold of the legs, everyone draw your knees and feet back through center and give your legs a hug. Feels like to have both of your sides simultaneously doing something similar. You might lean softly from side to side or stay still, but a deeper breath in and a longer breath out as you release your legs down to the earth. I'll talk you through some therapy ball work this evening in the upper back and some options if you'd prefer to set up early for rest. You are more than welcome to do so. We'll meet you there momentarily. But for those interested in the therapy ball work, you can keep them in their tote or you can take them out, it's up to you. But hold the therapy balls in your hands as you lift your head and shoulders up off the ground. And now from your upper back, pop the therapy balls between your shoulder blades to the top tips of your shoulder blades themselves. So once you find a place you can breathe in, that you can feel curious about, you might bring your head to the floor, or you might bring your head up onto a block at its lowest height if you'd like to alleviate any pressure. But as your hands fall anywhere they fall, on your body or alongside of you, take a deep breath in through the nose and open your mouth to let that breath out. Following your pace more than my voice for 2 more regions in the upper back with your knees bent, feet on the ground. Press through your legs and roll your body a few inches towards the front of the room until you feel the therapy balls come down your back to the middle of the shoulder blades, slightly lower than where they just were. Bring your there as you take a full breath in. And even open your mouth to let that breath go as you let the back of your head and your shoulders soften to the earth. For one last place, with your knees bent, press through your legs and roll your body another few inches to the front of the room until those therapy balls come to the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, still in the upper back, just slightly lower than where we've been before. A big breath in through the nose, a longer breath out through your nose or mouth. Now you might keep your hands exactly as they are. Or to explore any gentle movement, perhaps you reach your arms to the ceiling and give yourself a hug as if your hands could reach for the therapy balls behind your back. You might stay still, you might lean softly from side to side. If you are giving yourself that embrace, you might switch which elbow is on top to notice any difference. Try to unclench your fingers, your palms, as you stay still or lean from one side to the other. And now unwrap your arms if they're wrapped around you. Clear any of those blocks from underneath you if they're there. And to make the exit journey, you can either scooch your butt towards your heels, roll to the back of the room to feel the therapy balls come up your back, or you might roll over onto one side, push them out of the way, and come back to lay onto the floor. But however they exit, see if you can let them fully exit for the remainder of rest. Or sometimes they create a little more tension than softness if they stay for Shavasana. And now the next place to meet is in your pose of rest. So give yourself a few moments to take anything it is you might need, any props, any layers. You might let your hair down or set your glasses to the side. Perhaps you're lying on your back or in a side laying Shavasana or even on your belly. Know that you can shift or adjust at any point to get even 1% more comfortable than you might be. But as you feel and listen for your breath, we come here into rest as we cross through the threshold from the practice that was to where you are now. Can you let every round of your breath let your body become heavier against the earth? And the heavier your body becomes, the more expansive and the more spacious you might just start to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a deeper breath out. Take another breath in and down so it fills you up. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. Let your breath begin to slowly awaken the body that you're in with any gentle movement that feels supportive to you. You might roll your wrists or your ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head softly from one side to the other, heavy against the earth. You're just watching for any props or neighbors around you. You might reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your chest. But when the time comes, you can bend both knees, reach one or both of your arms overhead as you roll over to any side of your choice to curl into yourself. And with the least amount of effort needed, press into the floor and come up to rise to a tall seat facing the front of the room. With their eyes softly closed or softly open, Can you take a deep breath in and down so it fills you up? And exhale to offer the breath up and out through every direction, every fiber of you. Our time together will finish with one more of those same breaths. You can place your hands to center, anywhere that feels for you, as you take a deep breath in to offer all of it out. You might bow your head to your heart or lift your hands towards your head in such a simple but profound gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to each other who practiced right alongside with you. And I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Thank you, everyone. Drink water, take care of yourselves. And if there's any props or mats you use, there's a bucket of white wipes here just to give things a little swipe with, to keep them as tidy as we love to see them. And then announcements-wise, Desiree's coming, not to put him on blast, but Kai is here in the front, and Kai just started his 4-week series on Monday nights about self-defense and yoga practice and how it all ties in. The worst thing is to announce things scrambled eggs, but if you have a niche position to be in, Monday nights. And Saturday mornings, I did the first one last Saturday, it was lovely. The next 3 Saturdays, I'm teaching the free classes at the Art Museum Sculpture Garden. They're from 9 to 10, it's BYO Math. And Siobhan, who runs the programming, is giving a discount for the Art Museum. She just told me it's for any day. It's valid for a year. So if you want to make a whole day of Fairmount Park stuff, it'd be nice to see some familiar faces. Every Saturday, 9 to 10, 3 more Saturdays just for September. But it's in the Sculpture Garden. You'll be able to see her navigate us all. And I think that's it. Anyone else? Announcements from y'all? Things that you are doing, you're seeing, things that other people should know about? Anyone see any good fringe shows? Cool, me neither yet. The other studio I teach at, Studio 34 in West Philly, is a big hub for them. And there's programming and advertising this, but there's this guy, Chris, who did the one-man Nutcracker show. Did anyone see that? Yeah? He's doing another performance at Studio 34, like Saturday, if you want a West Philly adventure. Or was it? What's that? I used to live there. Yeah, it's the best place. Thank you, guys. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Anish, I hope I didn't annoy you. I didn't move to this center.
Oh, no.
My foot starts hurting sometimes, and I'm hiding.
I just didn't want you guys to bonk heads, so you face this way.
No, I wouldn't want to bonk you. It's scary.